the week thus far.
Gentlemen, welcome to the week thus far. Give yourselves a big round of applause. You guys are a great crowd. Yeah. We have a great show for you this evening. We have Peter Oldring from CBC's This Is That. Though if it were a gold ring, I'm sure it would be very nice. Interesting fact, his name contains both a noun and an adjective. And also, our musical guest this evening is known as Still Lights. Yeah, and this is our 1-year anniversary for this show.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because we're on season 3 already. We're like halfway through season 3, baby. We're just banging these things out. Whatever that is. 1-year anniversary. Holy crap.
2 hosts, 2 sound guys, 2 venues.
1 pizza place.
1 pizza place, no money. Living the dream.
We are living the dream. We're living the dream of scraping on by, doing something we love. Am I right?
I got wind, like, you know the Coach family. Athletics run deep in the Coach family, right?
Okay.
Not me. I blew a tire when I was 6.
That's why you coach
soccer, so I haven't been playing for 25 years. My hammy's been out of commission since I was 6, so I'm behind the scenes now, right?
That's right. Those who can't do teach or coach in your case.
Yeah. So I got word this weekend. My cousin is actually quarterback for Regina in the lingerie football league. So now all cousin jokes aside from Saskatchewan.
Does she look anything like you?
Well, maybe like 600 bags of sweet chili heat ago. Yeah, you know, Whopper Juniors, et cetera, et cetera.
She wears Dorito bags as armor.
But can I cheer for her? I mean, I don't know. Like, do I say you look good or good game or good tackle?
You look good. I don't
know. Like, great game. Can I cheer for her? Get a playing card? Like, I don't know.
Keep your head in the game and your chest.
That's my cousin you're talking about, Dan. Anyway, so cheer for her.
Well,
Stacy Coach is her name.
Speaking of someone that we need to cheer for, we'll be right back with the news. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if I smashed a cup over my hand right now and drank all the blood from it, you'd say, that's going to make the news, baby. Doctors at Toronto General Hospital successfully performed a rare double lung transplant last Friday. Until now, the only other person to successfully complete a double lung transplant was Tony Hawk at the 2001 Summer X Games. A report by the Canadian Institute for Health Information shows that the rate of C-sections is increasing. Said Blue Bomber fans, C-section sucks! Section S! Section S! Mayor Sam Cates has come under fire recently for using the City Hall budget to purchase 2 sets of Blue Bombers season tickets. Cates took the ticket controversy as an opportunity to announce the opening of his newest restaurant, which will be attached to the stadium, called Who's Gonna Stop Me? The Winnipeg Jets have finished their first season back in our one great city, failing to make the playoffs. Instead of spending their summer on the golf course, as is typical for most postseason hockey players, the Jets are going to give back to the community by helping out the homeless, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The federal government announced this week that it will be doing away with our beloved penny. No one is more pleased with the announcement than Dr. Claw. like that one. Bad news for American buttholes. A new legal precedent has been set allowing police to strip search a person for any crime. In protest, members of the Occupy movement have begun an all-burrito diet. A Turkish cosmetics company is under fire after using archival footage of a speech by Hitler in a 12-second ad for shampoo. Rights groups haven't been this outraged since Purina introduced Gubbles and Bits. Yeah. Millions of dollars in coins and a large shipment of candy was left strewn across a northeastern Ontario highway last week after an accident involving a Brinks security vehicle and another truck carrying candy. Onlookers were disappointed, however, when the truck filled with hot babes appeared to be running behind schedule. A recent UN study ranked Canada as the 5th happiest country in the world, with first place going to Denmark. This is just another great example of how the UN is changing the world for the better, with mood-based ranking studies. The Manitoba government announced this week that it'll be launching its own online gambling site. Unfortunately, most of the people who would use the site have already pawned their computers. Lotteries Minister Steve Ashton says the plan will create jobs as the Millennium Library will be hiring waitresses for its computer lab and security to intervene when 2 middle-aged people get territorial over their machines. A priest in Ireland is at the center of controversy after he accidentally flashed pornographic pictures during a First Communion service. I guess Good Friday turned into Awkward Friday. The Molson Coors Brewing Company has announced their purchase of the Eastern European brewing company Starbev. Friends of Molson said, "Hey Molson, haven't you had enough already?" To which Molson replied, "Hey, don't you tell me how to live my life." Molson then purchased McDonald's before sending lewd pictures of their fermenting tanks to Labatt. Republicans in the U.S. House of Representatives have successfully defended an employer's right to access employee Facebook passwords. Many employers have been shocked to find out how many people's passwords are "go f*** yourself." And that's the news. We'll be right back with our guest, Peter Oldring.
Hey, what's up? I'm Andrew Ladd, and I've watched the week thus far.
Right on. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Our guest this evening is one of the men behind the CBC show This Is That, which is featured on the radio and does satirical news stories. Please introduce, I will, you should listen to me do it, Peter Oldring.
Greetings, greetings. Hello, thank you kindly. Oh, yes.
Oof.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
good. This is
What a
good.
day.
I got nothing.
No, you need nothing. You've got a stash.
That's true.
That's why.
My
that's why
prostate's
it's
been
so
acting
good.
up, so.
Well, we'll deal with that later. Well, we could deal with it now. But
Good.
I mean, I know where it is.
Now,
I don't want to tell
Peter,
you how I know that. Yes.
I've noticed you've brought with you a very interesting pocket.
Oh, yes!
Yeah.
It serves, I don't think it serves any purpose.
I think it's an upside-down pocket.
It's just kind of cool.
Yeah. No big deal.
It's just kind of when I see a regular pocket, I'm like, oh, it's useful, but, you know. And I saw this shirt and I was like, wait, what am I looking at? Is that a pocket or is it sort of an upside-down bottom of a tie? What is that? And I went to it and then and this is what it was. And I've never been asked about it. And I've never actually opened it. So I don't know if the designer ever wanted it to be sort of, you know, if it's just kind of a casual day, you can just droop it down.
Oh, look at that.
I'm just going to, oh, is this a formal affair? Let me just button this up. Is this an interview, or are we just kind of casually hanging for drinks? Oh, it's an interview? Okay.
Well, that's the case. I was thinking of maybe taking mine off, but it'd be better if we could get Ben to do with those teeth.
We did briefly. So I got 48 teeth. Who cares?
Not 48. You have enough to make 48.
Nice.
Anyways.
Yes. I was going to say that we briefly got into a discussion about clothing just prior to this, in which one Christmas, only a couple of Christmases ago, my parents bought me a large belt that said jazz. And it kind of had some funky trombones and saxes on it.
That's jazz, baby. That's jazz.
Do you like jazz?
No, I have no musical background. And all she could say is like, well, John Bon Jovi has one. Has this really cool belt. And she did say, and your dad and I, they had another one that said Hollywood. And we thought, oh my God, that's what he would wear, a Hollywood belt. But it wasn't in the right size. I just sort of thought, I haven't really worn it, but they were really charged up about it. So a jazz belt with a little buttoned up triangle pocket.
Not bad. One thing you could add to that outfit, and she's here now, but it's hard for me to say. My mother, one time, bought me a tie that had a family of Dalmatians on it. It was pleasant, I'll give it that.
Did she?
You're also 24 when she bought it for you, so it was a bit
that
old.
was this year. Yeah, that was this year. Thank you.
That's nice. I mean, look.
Never look
Now
a gift
it's
horse
on
in the mouth.
television. Yeah. Now it's made television. If my parents only knew that jazz belt had made it on television. Oh, Robin, if we'd only gotten him the Hollywood belt. Oh, he'd be in a feature. Oh.
Oh, man. Well, that felt good.
Really good.
Yeah.
So, do you like fishing?
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's your favorite fisherman?
What? Wait. Are there any?
I'm a big Uzumi guy myself.
Bob
I'm a
Uzumi?
big
Bob
Uzumi guy. Like a Uzumi guy.
Yeah, he's
old
he's
stalwart.
got, look, the guy's got great technique, but let's face it, he's also sponsored. If I had that equipment, I could catch like him.
Absolutely right.
I'm kind of pulling for the guy that's putting it together. Maybe
With
he
a
has
stick.
put down his hobo bindle. And he's had to maybe take the bindle off of the stick and get some line and, put
He's
together
using
one.
the stick from the bindle.
Those are the fishermen that I I hold to a different level.
Those are the
No,
guys that
Bob.
do it for the love
Yeah.
of fishing.
Or the need.
That's true.
If you're in a situation where, you need to use your bindle stick for your sustenance, you need it. You need it. You're not looking for a trophy. You're just looking for just anything that you can grill and eat. Maybe not even grill.
Just eat raw.
Just a delicate raw sushi.
Now, you're here in town for the Comedy Fest.
Yes, I am.
You're doing
well,
the show.
Secondarily. Primarily.
For
guys,
the week.
come on.
Apology accepted. Apology accepted. This is this.
Certainly
This is
it was the festival that flew me up, but
Right.
my heart. My heart always came for this tonight.
Thank you.
And that sounds gross. Should have quit at the jazz belt and left.
One thing I love about your show, it's satirical news,
Yes.
but I love the call-ins
Yeah.
that you guys play of people who have legitimately been fooled by the stories you're telling, like putting a NASCAR ring around was at Fenway Park.
Around Stanley Park.
Stanley Park. Yeah. And, well, I don't.
Going to Boston.
I think there is one around Fenway Park. And
Where
if
they
there's not, it's a hell of a money-making idea.
Sports not a forte. So
Yes.
I hear Boston's great this time of year. But at any rate, people get legitimately upset and they yell and
Yeah.
scream. Have you ever actually had anyone from CBC tell you like, "Hey guys, ease up a bit on the weird," or like, do they?
No, it's funny, when we originally started the show, we didn't really think about, Pat and I thought of, everybody knows that sound of CBC Radio 1. It doesn't matter where you're driving, you know it, you recognize that sound. There's just a comforting tone. And so we actually just thought of it would be really fun to do something that playing around with that tone. And so we put together a show that all the stories are fake, we do all the voices, but we really don't tip it. We don't say this is a joke, this is not a real story. We try to keep it very real. And so when we had originally given them, we just sort of recorded a 22-minute thing, and they listened to it and said, oh, we like this, so do 10 more. And so then we started recording things, and before they broadcast it, we had a couple of meetings with a couple of executives who, when they were listening to the stories, would say things like, now this is funny, but you can't say that. Are we making fun of people who read? And we'd be like, no, this is just, we would have had a bogus interview with a lame author, and it sounded like just a long-winded conversation about a book, and so there was some trepidation, but they honestly did not. They said, do whatever you want, but we're concerned. There's an element of concern. But then once it started to broadcast, they've never said there's anything off limits. We don't say actual business names. So for instance, we wouldn't say, if we were making a joke, we wouldn't, center it around. The president of Walmart had an announcement this week that they're changing entirely to diapers. From moving on forward, it'll just be children's diapers and undergarmentry. So we wouldn't really say that, but we might make up a store that sounds like we set a story here in Winnipeg with a fake legendary department store called Ashworth's. That's been here for years, and that the idea was that they were no longer allowing men up to the women's lingerie store.
But it's actually a good rule anyway in the city. It's actually a good rule.
It's not bad.
Just because it's awkward and all the fumbling and bumbling, and it's a place where women can go and feel safe and enjoy the all of the things that they're going to get on their bodies, and the men are fumbly bumbly boyfriends. They can go to customer service and just describe the teddy. And then someone will go up to 7 and say, is this what you were thinking? And then if it's not, then they go back up. But we did get a lot of calls saying, this is outrageous. If I'm going to get something for my wife, I should be allowed on 7th floor of Ashworth's.
What do you mean I can't buy the clothes
We all should be allowed on the 7th floor of Ashworth's, but it's all in our heads.
No, you almost got sued by Nygaard one time.
You guys did?
Yeah, big time.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah. We said that his cat was trying to turn him gay and a few other things like that.
He didn't like it.
His lawyers were actually like, you should know that his cat is not trying to turn him gay. And that this is slanderous. And it was just
His cat has suggested bi-curious tendencies. Hangouts, interesting, peculiar naked fellowships, but not specifically gay.
Oh man!
A quick question: you were on Dragon's Den.
Yes.
You guys see? I saw you on Dragon's Den about 20 minutes ago on YouTube.
Oh.
Where's that Hollywood belt?
What I heard about you. No, I'm just kidding.
No, with the time change and stuff, I just finished it. Like 2 hours and 20 minutes ago, but I'm here now, yes.
But you tried to sell a $2 million snowball making machine on Dragon's Den.
Yes.
You said YouTube it. So it's on YouTube on the computer, and if you
$2 million.
$2 million. Now, when you went on there as a character, did they actually buy it that you were legit?
So
who?
Basically, one of the things on our radio show, this is that, is we will do sort of biographies, and so we had done this little audio biography of this guy who's a failed dreaming toy maker who had it in his head that he, is going to make this snowball fight in a box. And it's like a mini refrigerator, and he's like hand packs his snowballs from his backyard, and he puts them in this refrigerator, and he's going to send them to Africa where kids don't have snow. so that, or like Cuba, so that they can enjoy the fun of a snowball fight.
Right.
And so we thought, and it's a ridiculous story, but it does sound authentic. Like, as we're recording these stories, we go out, we're packing snowballs as we're recording. Like, it's, we try to go through what we're doing. So we thought, it would be so funny if we could get on Dragon's Den and pitch this as a legitimate business. And it's on the CBC, so we, kind of gave a shout over, and they said, to the producers, and they were like, we got to check with Sony, who owns this thing, and they're like, yeah, no, that's okay, you can do this. And they're like, do you want us to tell the hosts? And we're like, no. No offense to Robert, but I'd rather him just play it as it lands. So they didn't know, but I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, I have on a bad mustache, and I mean, at one point I wipe out. Like, I mean, it's honestly, it's ridiculous. But it's such a big, giant room that they do this in that even though, like, for the first bit, they were just, like, they took it very serious, and then they were like, oh, this is, they were kind of just starting to joke a little bit, and I kind of turned it at one point and started to get very emotional and, like, sort of, like, well up about you have to have something that you're passionate about. And then they were just, like, totally baffled. They were like,
well, you said you had a wife.
Yeah,
and your in-laws gave you all the money.
I said that so far, like, my in-laws had invested $134,000. Like, it was so like I've invested like well, so far the investment's like $147,000, but 133 of that is my wife's parents. You just know that it's a horrible situation. But it was really ridiculous, and there was something so strange about it, because in my mind, of course, we were trying to make this comedy, and like we were trying to make, it's just a silly video, but it's a very strange thing to be in that situation where, there is no audience, no one's laughing, and so I'm kind of like in my head trying to go like, I don't want to be so much of an idiot that they think this is completely a joke, but I'm also trying to like make sure I'm idiot enough that it's something funny. So afterwards, when I finished, I kind of had finished, and I talked to our producing partner, Chris Kelly. And I was like, I don't even know. I mean, was anything funny? Did anything work? And he's like, oh yeah, no, I think it's good. We'll see how it edits together. But like, it was a really funny experience. But yeah, they didn't really know. They sort of wavered in and out of knowing. And then afterwards, I went in and said, thank you so much. And it was just goofy. And they're like, oh, you were good at playing an idiot. Oh man. Oh my God, I totally thought you were like, who is this idiot?
It's good that you were subtle enough so that, it was still a funny piece and it wasn't just like a passionate snowball man coming in.
Honestly, I thought like it would have been awful to like, have gone through all the trouble to then get out the end and just go, oh my God, it's just really sad. Oh, the whole thing, there's no levity in it, it's just so sad.
Love the notion that you're sending African kids snowballs to have fights with and not drink. At any rate, thanks very much for coming out.
Thank you so
We're all
much,
out of
you
time,
guys.
but
Yeah.
we will be right back with our guest, the Still Lights.
For a taste of royalty, head to 120 King Street. Just look at that wood. Week Thus Far tapes at the King's Head Pub every Monday live at 8 p.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the very end of the 1-year anniversary special, and I'm Mondo depressed. Turbo depressed. We're getting Ninja Turtles talk over here. That's how sad I am. I'm regressing. I'd like to thank Matt Nightingale, our head writer, because I haven't done that ever, and I think he deserves it. The guy works very hard on this show, writes some excellent material. Peter, would you like to thank anyone today?
Well, I want to thank you guys, obviously, and I will throw out the city of Winnipeg, because the first time that Pat Kelly and I ever worked on anything in a comedic capacity was actually at the Winnipeg Fringe.
Sweet, which is coming up soon.
Many years ago. So I will thank you kindly for your kindness towards.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
De nada. De rien.
It's French.
Domo. Well, that's thank you as well. All right, so, ball coach, do you have anything to say?
I want to thank Matt, the sound guy. Tore up his hand today. Comes in here with one hand. Thank the camera crew.
Also,
The
Peter.
little people. I'm just trying to thank the little people today.
Where's that?
No, 'cause I'm shorter
Hollywood
than
Belt.
you.
Hollywood Belt.
No,
And I'd just like to say, for the record, if you ever need a bodyguard, I have a Gandalf costume and a shillelagh, and I'll just be like, you cannot get to this man! Anyways, without further ado, I would like to introduce the musical guest this evening, Still Lights! Woo!
sun shines down and the shadow is cast. This is closing the door, this is the end of the past. A shade of red illuminates the fear inside. There's no time for the trembling of hands. He takes a look in her eyes before he tries to stand. This pale lit room will hide the secrets left behind. Just waiting out, just waiting for the light to fade from her eyes. No crying out, just silent whispers. See the light out. If he runs now, will he ever be in control? He was a talented man, he's now a thief of the soul. These hands will never be as clean as once before. Sees life through the death in his eyes. Can he live with regrets, but can he live with the lies? The voice resounds inside his head forevermore. Just waiting out, just waiting for the light to fade from her eyes. No crying out, just silent whispers. See the light out. The fear takes over and he's running for the door. And this dark and strange illusion never showed itself before. And he waits for the dawn. She's not coming back for more. Close your eyes, let her voice take you away. Just waiting out, just waiting for the light to fade from her eyes. No crying out, just silent whispers. See the light out. Just waiting out, just waiting for the light to fade from her eyes. No crying out, just silent whispers. See the light out. Thank you.